If you have been following me for a while, you know that I love tending and caring my garden. But at the same time, I also have a full-time job which consumes a lot of my time. I have a home to take care of, a YouTube channel, family and friends whom I enjoy spending time with, and I travel a lot, especially during spring and summer when the garden needs most attention. That means my garden does not get all my time. How do I still manage a garden? We'll find out in this video. You know already the essential for a vegetable or a flower garden includes several factors like good humus soil, 6 to 8 hours of sun, nutrients. Suppose if we got the soil right and there is adequate sunlight for the plants to grow. But there is one more essential factor that the plants need to grow, that is deep, regular watering. This is important for a healthy vegetable garden. Plants need water at their roots. When I had a balcony garden, I used to water using a watering can. Watering the foliage from the top can sometimes lead to pest infestation. This also leads to shallow watering. That means only the top layer of the soil gets watered, which will not encourage the roots to grow deep. Although I love watering with my hands, there are days when I get pretty busy, or I forget to water, or I am lazy. My interests change. And watering every day, let us admit it, is a tedious task when you have a lot of plants. This leads to inconsistent watering, which takes a toll on our plants. So the first thing I did after moving to this house and setting up a vegetable garden is to install an automatic watering system because it helps achieve consistent deep watering right at their roots without our intervention. The watering system I use is from the brand called RainPoint. I'm using their hub and the 2-zone water timer for my garden. The installation is pretty straightforward. They have provided a manual, and apart from that, there are some good videos on their YouTube channel which will make the installation process even more easier. Both the devices are Wi-Fi based. I installed the hub in my living room in such a location that it is not very far from the Wi-Fi router and also from the water timer. Both the devices can be controlled via their app. Now I have added both the devices to the app. That means they are connected to the Wi-Fi. I connected the 2-zone water timer also to the pipe. As the name suggests, there are 2 valves that can be independently controlled for 2 zones in the garden. This feature was really important for me in my garden because apart from my raised bed garden, I still grow a lot of vegetables in containers, and the containers need smaller amount of water when compared to the raised bed garden on the grounds, but they might need this more frequently during the day. This is because containers have a limited amount of soil, and the amount of water that the soil can hold at a given time is limited. So if we give them water as much as we give the raised beds, then we are just wasting the water. Therefore, dividing the garden into 2 separate zones really made sense. The left valve will be used for watering my containers, and the right valve will be used to water the garden on the ground. Next, for me, it was important that the device is able to water my garden automatically based on a timer so that the garden gets watered even if I forget to control it. This app allows to create more than one watering schedule for both the valves separately. That was quite interesting. I've created separate plans for both the valves based on the frequency and duration both the zones will require. As I've mentioned before, the containers will be watered for a lesser duration but more frequently when compared to my raised bed garden. This app can also warn us if there is a leak in the system, track the water flow rate, and gives us interesting statistics on how much water has been used for irrigation, which is quite helpful to be more intentional and mindful about using water. I'm using irrigation mode for my garden, but there is also a misting mode which can be used along with a sprinkler to water your lawn if you are looking for something like that. All the details that are visible in the app can also be viewed on the display hub, like the amount of water consumed, when is the next watering schedule for both the valves. Apart from that, the hub also shows us the current temperature and humidity indoors and also the weather forecast for the day. After using this automatic irrigation system, I've seen a significant improvement in the growth of my plants, and I'm not planning to go back to hand watering on a daily basis. I still water using a watering can in order to fertilize my plants, but I think the automated irrigation system really works for me, but it's again a personal choice. Moreover, it helps us save water as we can turn off the watering in case it is raining through the app even without getting out in the garden. Being a gardener has made me more mindful in the past years about using resources, and I always look for ways to save water wherever possible. And as my viewers, I assume that you also share the same mindset about protecting and conserving our resources. I think RainPoint has put a lot of thought into how to save water and at the same time to make our lives easy. And all the balcony gardeners out there, you have not been forgotten. They also have a smart drip irrigation system where the water can be pumped from a water tank for your potted plants. I'm really impressed by this product and I totally recommend it to anybody who is looking for a smart irrigation system. The link to the product will be in the description below. As much as I love gardening, I don't like to be tied up to my garden, keeping me away from spending time with the people I love and also having new experiences. Such an irrigation system allows me to be away from my garden, keeps me sane and not stressed about my garden while I'm away. I hope this was useful. Let me know how you water your garden, also your thoughts on this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next. Bye and take care.